Hi everyone, good morning and welcome back in today's class. Today we are on the day number 31. Yes, it's a day number 31 that the almost the course we have done is 29 plus hours and now going to be completed 30 hours approximately. Okay, so in today's class we are going to be discuss the last topic which we left yesterday is called the solution assessment and validation. This chapter is similar, or I can say what we done earlier in our BA box specifically. The chapter is there, but few things, one or two things they added more from the CBA perspective, which we're going to be discuss here. Okay, so one thing, if you notice here that in this book, let me close everything and let's BA this thing. So if you put these things number 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So if you notice that they started the chapter with a word called controlled start like this. In the first chapter, they just say foundation concepts. In the second chapter, they say controlled start, that how to take a control and start your project. Control start enterprise analysis, that how to start enterprise analysis. Then overarching task, which is required to complete those activities. Then in the middle part, controlled middle, you have a allocation. Again, controlled middle, you have a requirement analysis, that how to analyze that requirements. And finally, it's a control end. At the last, when you're saying, yes, this is my activity, this is going to be complete now, they call it as a controlled end. Let me open that this thing. Okay, so we discuss this part, and now we're on this particular area. Communication, which we discussed yesterday, will be still same. You have to prepare the requirement package, and then you have to be communicate with the stakeholder. Now let's come to this particular point here. Sorry. Here. This chapter says that open it and this one. This is solution assessment and validation provide care and feeling for a selected solution across the project lifecycle. Means in this step, you are going to be assess and validate that what solution you are going to be provide, what solution you're going to be select for the complete life cycle. This includes the proposed solution number 1, allocate requirement number 2, that which requirement will be allocated to which solution, or which solution will be taken care, or which requirement will be taken care by which solution, to a solution component as well. See, maybe design a web page, login web page. Then there's a requirement called the create the two boxes A and B. This will be taken care by the table component of a solution, that when a table will be created, then these two components will be created there. And validate the solution to make sure it will meet the business need and deliver the value. So two things a BA need to be take care always. Number 1 is a business need, and number 2 is a what the stakeholder need here. Okay. Now in this, if you come here, we'll say it is again a knowledge area. The solution assessment and validation knowledge area focus on ensuring the solution can be successfully implemented. It can be in the phases. It can be in the big bang approach. Step by step by step by step go, or you want to go in a one shot, you can go in the one shot as well. But it is this particular area to focus to ensure the solution can be implemented within the organization in order to meet the business need and the project which you are driving here. You must have knowledge of your business environment. It means if you're deploying, if you're implementing the business or solution, you should know the business goal, business strategy, you should know the current state, you should know the future state. Only then you can implement that particular solution. As per the BA book, they say that this knowledge areas where you will be develop your project transition plan. That how it means again, this thing from the current state to future state, how I will go. I'm not saying that evaluate the concept. No, it's saying you have to be develop the transition requirements. And what there's the three type of requirements we did, right? Functional, non-functional, and the traditional requirement, which is required to make sure that this should be taken care in the next product or the next solution as well. Remember that business requirements are developed by task in enterprise analysis knowledge area, जो हमने यहाँ सबसे पहले पढ़ा था business analysis architecture, वहां से हमारी requirements clear होना शुरू होता है, and in this particular area we go for the solution building part. Okay, from the exam perspective, what it say, transition requirement describe a solution capability required to transition from the current to the future state. Like if I say let's build a new phone, then in a phone the calling and SMS requirements are the transitional requirements. These are the minimum transitional requirement which you need to be completed. Maybe you can say, Atul, is it the functional requirement as well? Yes, but it is a transitional requirement as well. Maybe I can say transitional means the phone should be slim because in the current era the phone we're using, it's already slim and trim. Transition requirements are no longer needed once the transition of the new solution is complete. एक बार हो गया तो फिर वो functional बन जाएंगी, फिर वो transitional नहीं है. But till the time it is be completed, it is a transitional requirement for me. Okay, in this particular area, what they are saying in this particular area, they are saying that few tasks need to be completed. Number one, it says propose solution assessment. Means how or what you were going to propose for the solution assessment part. Then readiness of the organization for this particular acceptance, that is it my organization is ready to accept this particular thing or not. For that I do the assessment part. Okay. Then allocate stakeholder and the solution requirement, that who is going to be approve or verify what solutioning part. Maybe I'm working in a finance, but so in this case I cannot approve or say yes or no on the IT requirement or solution part. Okay, and then transitional requirements, which we just saw, and then solution performance assessment, which we done yesterday in our solution scoping part, that we are going to be validate. We are going to be check the performance. Okay, and the last one, that is identify defects and in the mitigating the action, that if there's any issue, if there's any problem, if something is not working, identify those defects and try to mitigate those parts. So maybe this is something which we have new here in this chapter. So we'll see a high level point on this area. Okay, and then we'll proceed further. So they divided this majorly in this section. The four tasks, the four things are important. Number one, solution performance, how the operational solution is performing related to the business goal. Validation, met the business need and accepted level. Then organization readiness, is my organization ready or not? And finally, assessment of the proposed solution or the solution assess the value, which we discussed the last chapter, last topic of our BA book. So in this almost we covered earlier. Okay. Then they say if you want to be achieve these 6 or 5 steps, what you have to be do actually. A business analyst has a six tasks to perform the solution assessment and validation. Assess the proposed solution, allocate the requirement, assess the organization readiness. जो हमने ऊपर पढ़ा है वो अब उसके टास्क भी हैं कि बॉस आपको ये सारा काम करना पड़ेगा, तभी आप बोलोगे कि हाँ ये सॉल्यूशन काम करेगा या नहीं करेगा, एक सॉल्यूशन मेरे लिए काम। ओके, नाउ if I come here, हाँ, when the territory and the map disagree, believe the territory. I when I read this one first, second, or third time, I did not understand that part. Then I read it again, again, and again. When the territory and the map disagree, believe the territory. It's simple. What it says that was, you are in a place, but on the map it is showing something different. Then believe that place that it is be right or wrong. Don't believe that that map is right or wrong here, because maybe map is not updated, maybe map is no longer valid there, maybe map is not the proposed, is the fine or good solution there, but the practical thing which is happening is the one point there. Okay, so in this specifically part, they say the task in the solution assessment validation begin early in the project life cycle as soon as the solution to the business problem need to be proposed. जैसे आप ये प्रपोज करना शुरू करते हो, हाँ ये ऐसे हो जाएगा, हम ऐसे कर सकते हैं, तभी आपका ये वाला काम एक्चुअली शुरू हो जाता है। क्योंकि बीइंग अ बीए, व्हेन कस्टमर इज गिविंग मी द रिक्वायरमेंट, द सॉल्यूशन बिल्डिंग इज स्टार्टेड इन माय माइंड ऑलरेडी, कि ये ऐसे हो सकता है, ये ऐसे हो सकता है। इट मींस अ मिनिमम बेयर इवैल्यूएशन यू स्टार्ट वर्किंग इन योर माइंड। इट इज नॉट अ केस कि आप जाके बोलोगे मैं अच्छा अपने टेक्निकल टीम से पता करता हूँ, नहीं, द सॉल्यूशन इज ऑलरेडी स्टार्टेड इन योर माइंड। अच्छा ये, हाँ ये तो हो जाएगा, हाँ ये भी हो जाएगा। Okay, so it is in the that particular life cycle it came here. Okay, let me see this thing now. Assess the proposed solution. What it say? The first task in the solution assessment and the validation task is assessing your proposed solution or the relative stakeholder solution requirement. This is what we already done, but it's saying that whenever you're getting the requirement and you have a some solution, try to, it is just a propose, like again take the same example, guys, let's go to Ladakh from Mumbai to Ladakh. Proposed solution is let's go by the car. You start assessing that part. Okay, maybe you and Suraj is going, Hitesh and Suraj is going, and I'm not going, but I am giving you the option as a BA, hey you can go by a car. अतुल कुछ भी बोलते हो यार, कार से कैसे जाएंगे? I am start assessing that particular option, particular solution for you guys. Okay, I'll not go in the depth because it is already done in our previous one. So what it say that you should know the assumption and the constraints. You should be having the requirement prioritization, solution option, which help you to assessing the part, and the output become this thing. And these are the few techniques which we already done in our BA book. Acceptance evaluation होना चाहिए, criteria definition होना चाहिए, decision होना चाहिए, vendor assessment होना चाहिए. This is the first part which we done here. Okay. ठीक है. Then in this, as we say that assumption, constraint, requirement, tradition, we already read, so I'm not going in that much depth. Now let's go to second task which I need to be do here. Techniques, acceptance and evaluation criteria. You should have something where you can define that, okay, when it will be, so when I'm evaluating the option, option is the wrong word here actually. Now let's not use the word option. Maybe we need to be change our wordings in the discussions as well. It is not a, it's no longer an option now. It is solution. ऑप्शन तो उसमें होता है अमिताभ बच्चन के शो में, केबीसी में, सर ऑप्शन तो दे दो. Here now we are doing the solutioning part. कि this is the way that we can achieve this point. So now going forward, if you speak with your team, then you can say that this is a proposed solution, not an option. When I write a story, I write like a follow-up action. solution proposed like this. I put a heading and I created solution proposed कि बॉस ये सारे solution propose किए गए हैं अभी तक. Okay, so this is a thing we have to be do. So for that you have some acceptance and the evaluation criteria should be there. Vendor assessment, are you able to do, or you need to be hand over or invite some other vendor for this particular thing. Okay. Then additional techniques, decision analysis you can put, decision tree you can prepare. Now assessment of the proposed solution. Same thing which we done, just put up, let's see that this one part. इसमें कुछ नहीं है साइज का. So they are saying that in this particular part you are be requiring you to assess the value of each proposed solution. Going by a car, going by a bike, going by a flight. These are the proposed solution. And you assess all these three solutions. You prepare a table format. And now you're doing the assessment. That what is the way I should follow where I can save the money, save the time, should be secure, should not be hectic. So on the basis of that, we are doing the assessment of the proposed solution. It is still proposed. If you remember that we have a word called the potential value. In the same manner, we have a proposed solution. Okay. Then in the next one, which is saying allocate the requirement. It means this task is solution assessment relation areas, allocating your stakeholders solution requirement to the solution component and the releases. Releases means that if I am building this particular solution, then which requirement will be part of the solution and when it will be released, means when it will be ready, when ready is not the right one, build and deploy and available for the use. That is called the release. So like say when I say a movie जो होती है, the movies which get movies getting released, but before that they have a lot of things to be do. कभी किसी ने उसका एक गाना रिलीज कर देंगे, कभी उसका ट्रेलर रिलीज कर देंगे, कभी उसकी कास्टिंग रिलीज कर देंगे. सो व्हाट दे से कि बहुत सॉल्यूशन क्या है मेरे पास, आई नीड टू बी roll out the things one by one. How? Maybe the movie will be released on a big platform. एक स्टेडियम में हम रखेंगे, वहां पर लोग आएंगे, वहां रिलीज करेंगे मूवी. कास्टिंग रिलीज होती है या गाना रिलीज होता है, स्मॉल सी किसी मॉल वॉल में पार्टी वार्टी करी, वहीं पे गए रिलीज कर दिया. आई एम नॉट श्योर क्यों कैसे होता है, मुंबई वाले ज्यादा पता होगा. ठीक है. सो अ रिलीज इज द डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ ऑल और पार्ट ऑफ शेड्यूल ऑपरेशनल सॉल्यूशन. मींस कब ये पूरे का पूरा सॉल्यूशन या इसका छोटा सा पार्ट रिलीज होगा, ये शेड्यूल करते हैं. सच एज रिलीज कंसिस्टिंग ऑफ द सॉफ्टवेयर एप्लीकेशन कोड. बेसिकली इसमें यही रहता है कि उसका कोड क्या होगा, डॉक्यूमेंटेशन क्या होगा, उसका सपोर्टिंग मटेरियल क्या होगा. मींस when that particular solution is available for the use is, I can say in the layman language, is called the release here. Okay. Like before this training kick off, now we are in the release phase. I am sharing the knowledge with you. You are sharing the knowledge with me. I'm sharing the documents with you. You are sharing the documents with me. We are sharing the material, exchanging the material with each other. So this is the releasing phase. That what we promise, the solution, what we build, we are releasing now. Okay. So in that part, this has been taken care. It can be sometime it can be a technical release, sometime it can be functional release. की बात ठीक है, solution में background solution में change हुआ, front end customer पर कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. So that's depend. That's depend actually. Okay. And they say, let's make sure you remember the definition of the solution component. What includes the solution component? They are the piece and part of solution that span the enterprise architecture. Means, as the technically I'm building something that is called a solution. No, solution components includes all the things around that particular development, build or release It's called the solution components here. It includes your business policies and processes. Number one, because maybe you need to be update those as well. It includes your job function and the responsibility, software application, requirement structure, internal external interactions. Everything which is be required to build that solution is basically called the solution component. I'm not saying the techniques, no, I'm saying in and around of that solution you are building are all of the components, maybe regulating frameworks or regulating standards is one of my solution component here. Take now what say that to do the allocate requirement, we have the requirement prioritize solution design scope, and we have these many techniques to do that part, which we already covered in the BE book. Nothing new is there. So allocate requirements allocated, and after that you're going to be communicate that part, which we discussed, or maybe I can say which we discussed the earlier as well. Okay, so these are the inputs. So here they're putting like this, a simple box. In the BA box, they're putting in a standard format. If I show you something here, can't give me this one. Okay, so like if I go here, so this thing, these things they're calling as the guiding tools, and they're just simply putting in a box. This is the main activity I'm doing, or this is, I can say these are the inputs. These are the activity I'm doing, and these are the techniques. In this, if you see here, sorry, these are the inputs. These are the guiding tools. This is the main activity I'm doing, and this is the output I'm getting here. Okay, so things are similar because in every place CBAP says that the master book is BA book only. You have to be use the BA book. Okay, so once you've done this part, then allocating requirement solution, we've done this thing, performing release planning is with there, that's fine. Business analyst rules आपके रहेंगे, technique consider acceptance criteria, dependencies, which we know the techniques. अब देखो इसमें if you notice in the last 2-3 chapters when I was reading the things, they did not give more than 3 or 4 techniques. No, they says only max 5 or 6 techniques, or the 4 or 5 techniques they mentioned in their boxes, but BA did not say this thing. BA put for everything. They have more than 5 or 7 one. In any topic you pick up, it has more than that. So they are saying that because BA is the parent book, and CBAP has been created on the basis of that. So they always says BA guiding recommend that these 5 are the recommended one. But other than that, you have the other techniques as well in the BA box. So you can go to that part as well. Okay, then produce the allocated requirement. Requirement allocate ho gayi. Now let them produce them. Let them work on them. Let's see the results on them. Allocated stakeholder solution requirement are associated with the solution component that will implement those requirements. Your allocated requirements are used as the input for the solution selection and design task out of the scope of the BA guide. It means they're saying that what you are be allocating. Now it is a time to build that particular thing. Produce करो उसको produce means उसको build करो, उसको बनाओ, format में लेके, actual format में लेके आओ उसको. Okay, so this says if you are doing this thing, what are the main points for you? Again का cycle, अच्छा है नहीं क्या? Good. So they say they are also communicating to your key stakeholder using the task in the requirement communication part. It means when you are allocating any solution. So if you notice this thing, communication part is even though outside this picture, outside this box, but it is a continuous process. It is a continuous process. It means when I done the allocation, I can go for the communication. When done the documentation part, then I can go for the requirement communication. And when I'm doing the solution assessment, then also going the same part here. So maybe this part done, requirement communication, go here back, again communicate, and then this thing. So if you see this picture, it doesn't mean that this is the last step. No, this and this are the supporting processes, are the supporting knowledge, let's not the processes, are the supporting knowledge area for this three part. Maybe I'm doing the requirement allocation, I need to make a change something in my planning. Go and make it here. Okay, so this is the place which we are going to discuss here. So number of stakeholders, we know that to whom we should communicate these things. So those are those parts they have mentioned here. Readiness, that is my organization is ready or not for the assessment part, that we have to be do. Either you can do, see, these are the points which we are discussing now. These are be required when we are launching a new product in the company. ये BAU के लिए ज्यादा नहीं होता, ये नए प्रोडक्ट्स के लिए होता है. Where the company say we are doing the transformation, we are doing the migration, we are removing one legacy tool and bringing to the another big and good tool. वहां पर ये चीजें assess की जाती हैं. Okay. So to do this part, they have a, oh my god, अच्छी techniques दी है. Multiple techniques here, which we discussed, which we already discussed. So we'll not go in depth in this area now. Okay. Then come down here. Then they say you have to do the culture assessment, operational technical assessment, impact analysis on the stakeholder, your functions, your locations, which we discussed day before yesterday, task. So these are the points which you need to be understand, which you have to be evaluate when you are doing the organization level assessment. कोई भी कंपनी कोई भी प्रोडक्ट immediately launch नहीं करती. They try to see कि कितने लोग रेडी हैं मेरी कंपनी में इस चीज को लेके. How many are excited? How many are actually want this thing should be happen? If you do any survey, you will find in the survey that few of the people are very enthused. फट से सर्वे का रिजल्ट भेजेंगे और वो एक्यूरेट रिजल्ट करके भेजेंगे कि जो उनका अंडरस्टैंड लगता है कि हाँ ये तो होना ही चाहिए, ये तो ऐसे ही होना चाहिए. वी वांट दिस चेंज इन द सिस्टम नाउ. ठीक है, तो यहां पर वो कंप्लीट असेसमेंट किया जाता है ऑर्गेनाइजेशन लेवल के ऊपर. देन फील्ड एनालिसिस, यू कैन पुट द kind of a company wide desktops or the MacBooks and all the things will be there. So like they're saying here, if you want to put change company wide desktop from Mac to PC. Let's see what is the people thought here. Flexible file usage, customer preference, staff preference, disruption during the change. So they put what they say is called the force field analysis. कि बॉस आप दो या तीन पैरामीटर्स निकालो, उनको पॉइंट्स दो, which is the more important here. Let's 9 and 6. It means this need to be considered here. अच्छा, फ्लेक्सिबल यूसेज है और कस्टमर प्रेफरेंस है, चलो ठीक है, फिर तो हम चेंज कर देते हैं. ठीक, तो वो चीजें. So multiple things are there which we can do here. So in this they have a lot of techniques they put it. And then build an organizational readiness assessment. It means that once you've done the assessment part, then you have to be prepared for the same, for the new solution. कि अब ये नया solution जाएगा कैसे, आएगा कैसे हमारी कंपनी के अंदर. Assessment हो गया, solutioning हो गई. Now how to launch this? Nowadays companies are calling back to their employees to the offices. On the day 1 or day 2, they're having the selfie booth, balloon decoration and goodies, chips, cake, chai, biscuits, everything you will be getting. Because they want to build that solution now. They want to implement that solution now. They want you should come back to office. And the day one when you came, you should not feel कि मुझे तो काम ही करना है. Enjoy that day because you're coming after 2 years. So companies are celebrating like a festival in this case, and people are also celebrating like this. Oh, मैं office जा रहा हूँ. They take the pictures, they put the screenshot pictures on the LinkedIn, the social platforms. That's good because company want now my employee should be come to office, and if they come, they should not feel bad on the day one. Let them give a good feel here. Okay, so these things has been taken care in this particular concept. Define transitional requirements, which we discuss that what are the transition we have to do from the future current state to the future state. So we have to be define those requirements here. Okay. अच्छा केस था अगर if you want to read you can read it. I guess almost done in this topic for us. In this you can see these are the inputs. Operational readiness assessment, requirement, solution design and deployed, define transitional requirement, transition the requirement, prioritize, verify and requirement, these things. Which you already done, so nothing to be discussed here. Yes, I'm just seeing that what is the last point to be left here. Develop. When you identify, then you have to be develop as well. Means again the solution need to be do on that part. Is any solution requirement or not? ये भी क्वेश्चन हो सकता है कि भाई ट्रांजिशनल रिक्वायरमेंट है, इज एनी सॉरी हाँ ट्रांजिशनल रिक्वायरमेंट इज एनी काइंड ऑफ अ प्लानिंग, एनी काइंड ऑफ I can say development required on that or not. If you see आजकल के जमाने में आप किसी को पुराना फोन लेके नया फोन दे दो, कुछ नहीं बताना पड़ता है किसी को, सबको पता है कहाँ से ऑन होगा, कहाँ से फिंगरप्रिंट होगा, कैसे सेटअप होगा. दिस इज काइंड ऑफ अ डेवलप द ट्रांजिशन रिक्वायरमेंट्स. इसमें कोई डेवलपमेंट ही नहीं है हमारी. इट इज रिक्वायर्ड कि मुझे एक फोन हैंड ओवर करना है, आई नीड टू बी गो फॉर द डॉक्यूमेंटेशन, बट nobody read that part. Okay, and then at the last almost there is the solution which we discuss in our BA book. This point I am saying here. Sorry, काम गया. यहाँ पर जो था वैलिडेट, हम जो असेसमेंट किया था, मेजरमेंट असेसमेंट और परफॉर्मेंस किया था, उसको वैलिडेट करेंगे एंड देन फाइनली वी go ahead for the recommendation part if anything is there. Okay, so this is all about our what I can say the topic called the solution assessment and the validation. Almost thing we already done. Okay, so in the last one they are saying here defect mitigating action and the solution validation the assessment. Now when you're implementing that particular solution, you have to be see if any defect is working. There is a difference between defect and a bug. Defect says that something you develop is not working as expected. That is called the defect. Bug means the platform you're using that is not working as expected. That is a bug. So in this case, you have to be identify is any defect which is not working as expected. How to mitigate that part? I tell you. My one of my phone was the screen was broken, so उसका टच पैनल खराब हो गया. मॉर्निंग 8-9-10 बजे की बात है, उसका टच पैनल खराब हो गया. नाउ द प्रॉब्लम इज दैट आई डोंट हैव इमीडिएट एनी फोन. फोन आ रहा है, देख रहा हूं मैम, लेकिन मैं उठा नहीं पा रहा. ठीक है, आई गो टू द ऑफिस एंड माई मैनेजर से क्या हो गया यार, आज काफी लेट हो गया आने में, 10 बज गया आने में आज. मैंने कहा ऐसे फोन खराब हो गया था. बोला अच्छा रुक मैं तेरे को सोल्यूशन देता हूँ. ही गिव मी वन क्या था वो, एक यूएसबी टाइप से कुछ होता है, हाँ ओटीजी करके रहता है यूएसबी का. ही सेज इसको लगा ले, अपने माउस को कनेक्ट कर ले इसके साथ, देन यू कैन यूज योर फोन एज अ टच फ्रॉम योर माउस ओनली. दैट वाज द मिटिगेटिंग एक्शन कि जब तक नया फोन नहीं आ रहा तब तक इस ओटीजी को यूज कर ले आराम से और तेरा फोन चलता रहेगा. एटलीस्ट यू कैन पिक अप द कॉल. एसएमएस ये सब मत करना क्योंकि उसमें लिखने में टाइम लगेगा, बट एटलीस्ट यू कैन pick up your phone now easily. You can talk to the people, but you have to be carry the OTG with this and mouse in your pocket every time till you get the new phone. That is called the mitigating action. And finally, the solution validation assessment. Okay, the solution I'm building is valid or not. We have to be check that part only. Okay. Then let's come back here and there's anything left here. Performance, we saw yesterday that how to evaluate the performance. In this book, the best part is that they have a use cases as well. If we read the use case, it will give a lot of clear picture to us. ठीक है, ये done हो गया था हमारा yesterday, and then we can see what else it has been left now in this chapter. Sinking cost, technique, performance is done. Good.
Use case यहाँ पे कहाँ पे? I'm sorry.
If you see here, the stories are mentioned like this. I'll show you something. It is a very big stories. So they put a practical use case. कहाँ गया अभी? ऐसे ना एक बॉक्सेस है उसमें यूज केसेस टाइप से कुछ मैं दिखाता हूँ. ये वाला जैसे ये देखो ये ना. ठीक है. The heading says here, do we have the right acceptance criteria?
Okay.
It is a real world scenarios. So read this and you will get a clear more picture by reading this. That are we building? Maybe in this particular, I did not read it completely. It says that there's a one lady to whom some work has been assigned, and she was creating some acceptance criteria. And now the writers asking to us by reading this, do you think that it is a right acceptance criteria or not? If not, then what should be the answer here? So in every chapter, almost 2 or 3 or 4 use cases are there. A lot of the use cases, the real scenarios are there. Real world scenarios are there. कि practically ऐसा ही होता है हमारे साथ. Okay. So one topic we are doing yesterday one topic, right? That's requirement part. So I was reading something, but it was too lengthy. I not able to read complete. But it is giving me the actual practical thing. If you remember that I shared one link on the LinkedIn with you on the WhatsApp chat that being a BA customer, I get the requirement. Customer says, hey Atul, can you build it in a one go? I said I can build it, but I need a more budget and the more time for this. Then things has been changed immediately. So this is what it is. Real world scenarios are here. So if you read these real world scenarios, you will be able to understand more about this particular topics and the in depth that how to write, how to define these things here. Clear?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Good. Now we are coming to the almost at the end of this course now, and the topic which we left in the picture now is called the 3 major things. It is called the BRD, FRD, and SRS. Okay. Being a business analyst, this is important for us to be understand that what these 3 documents meaning here. Being a business analyst, when you are implementing, when you're working for a customer and you're implementing the solution first time, बड़ा डिप्लॉयमेंट जैसे हम कहते हैं कि भाई मैं ये चीज मार्केट में लेके आया, ये चीज मैं कस्टमर के लिए डिप्लॉय कर रहा हूं, देन वी हैव टू बी गो फॉर द BRD, SRS और FRS. ये 3 अलग अलग डॉक्यूमेंट्स हैं, तीनों का अलग अलग पर्पस है, बट people get confused that these 3 are the same only. In the interview, in one of the interview, it has been asked to me, do you prepare the documentation part? I said yes. What documentation you prepared? So for you guys also important, I say I prepare the traceability matrix. Then in this case, you should know that in the requirement traceability matrix, what are the heading or the columns there. In the interview, they will not ask that what content you put. No, they ask, okay, tell me what are the headings in that particular traceability matrix. Then I prepare that I say I prepare the RAID log as well. Okay, give us the headings, what you put in the rate logs. And then say, I prepare the requirement documentation as well. He says, what type of requirement document? I said BRD I also prepared. I prepared the SRS as well. I prepared the FRS as well. It depends. In one of my company, everything has been stored in the FRS only. There's no BRD, no SRS. This is, we are storing everything in the FRS only. BRD stands for the business requirement document. SRS stands for the software requirement specification. And FRS basically, FRS is functional requirement specification. अब तो तीनों में रिक्वायरमेंट है ना, फर्क क्या है? तीनों का जो थीम है दैट इज अ डिफरेंट है. बिजनेस रिक्वायरमेंट, सॉफ्टवेयर रिक्वायरमेंट, functional requirement. If you're looking for a quick comparison between these three, ठीक है, BRD contains the high level business requirement. High level. I want a home page, I want a report, I want a dashboard, I want a login, I want exit, I want a password resets. These are the high level requirements. उसमें अंदर क्या होगा, no idea. Then they say, let's bring the SRS into the picture. Detailed functional and non-requirement, whereas it's a detailed functional. Means in the SRS document, I put my flow charts as well. I put the flowchart working as well, that what else, what is required here, what are the constraints, what are the dependency, what are the risk here. Okay, so this is and non-requirement, whereas the FRD, FRS contain the granular functional requirement. In the login page, that is my business requirement. Then in SRS, I put that in that login page, what are the main functioning I need. And then in FRD or FRS, I put more level. What is the name of that particular field in that particular page? What are the validation I need to be put on that particular page? Okay, so these are the three different documents all together. Okay, ऐसा नहीं कि एक को यूज करके कुछ भी कर लोगे, नहीं. It is very clearly you have to put it that boss, sometime I prepared, but again, nowadays no company recommend to go all these document. This is अगर generally बनाना तो better we go for the FRD or FRS. Let's not have a business requirement. उसमें एक section बना देंगे हम high level part और वहां से हम use करेंगे. Now the second point comes, is there any standard? No. There's a no standard of BRD, SRS or FRS. Even see they also say. However, there's a no universally accepted guidelines for all these in any of the BA book or CMI. The basic content, the basic agenda looks similar, but it depends on company to customize that according to their need. Someone says no, in the BRD I will not put the risk or the assumptions, but someone say no, I'll put it there. So that's totally depend, and they BRD, SRS and FRS. The other name, someone called it as a PRD as well, product requirement document. Give me just quickly. Okay, because in this we are going to build the product specification. FRS people call FSD, functional specification document. PSD, product specification document. क्योंकि ये ग्राउंड लेवल पे बनती हैं सारी, ये दोनों चीजें ग्राउंड लेवल पे बनती है, इसलिए इसको फंक्शनल बोला गया है. Then who create business analyst, business system analyst or implementation lead? Contains only high level, detailed functional and granular level. Ab, I worked in a company where where we were preparing for SRS only. In that we have a UML diagrams. In that we have the flow diagrams as well. In that we have a data diagrams as well. कि कौन से और what are the what I can say क्या कहते हैं उसको field mapping जो होता है field mapping name valuation everything we put it there only. That isn't it saying there is no standard. It's totally depend on you or your company. In this says why requirement have been undertaken, what must be do and how it can be do. Now this is the thing which can differentiate the usage and the purpose of these three particular documentations. And examples improve efficiency by tracking them. This example, let's say तीनों के BRD तो अगर आप वेबसाइट पे डालोगे तो आपको बहुत चीजें मिल जाएंगी आराम से. जैसे भी ये है, ये देखो ये BRD है, सैन फ्रांसिस्को का स्टेट यूनिवर्सिटी का BRD है ये. सो इसमें ऐसे सेक्शंस बना रखे उन्होंने. कुछ है कि डाउनलोड करने के लिए देखता हूँ मैं. देखो the BRD requirement template and an ideal BRD template, what it should contain. So yes, in the interview it can also ask, okay, tell me what are the content of your BRD document, and don't laugh, it has been asked to me clearly in the interview. बनाते हो? मैंने कहा हाँ बनाते हैं सर. बताओ क्या क्या होता है उसमें. Because these are the things which a BA need to do, hardcore BA need to be do. I put the summary statement, I put the objective, I put the project scope, then I put the financial statements. नहीं हम financial नहीं डालते थे उसमें क्योंकि financial was the confidential part, so we did not put. Functional yes, functional we put. Personal needs नहीं, हम सिर्फ assumption और risk उसमें डाल देते हैं. देखो इसमें assumption है, इसमें risk नहीं है. But maybe I can put the risk as well on the high level part, right? If I put the FRS sample document. Now see the table of content. Introduction, purpose, scope, background, references, acronyms. Even see they are using the acronyms as well. यहाँ पर नहीं थे हमारे पास. Because maybe यहाँ पर आप complete word use कर रहे हो, कुछ acronyms नहीं डाल रहे आप यहाँ पर. Then assumption and the constraints. यहाँ सिर्फ assumptions थी, constraints नहीं थे. यहाँ पर constraints भी हैं. Assumption, constraints, document review, methodology. बहुत sections होते हैं इसमें. देखो ये रहा गया आपका functional requirement. ये चीज आपके context flow वगैरह बनाने पड़ते हैं हमें यहाँ पे. This is a thing which is see flow diagrams आ गए, data dictionary, logical data. So these things we have to be do, and then at the last appendix or anything called the document control at the end should be there. So they have a three. See, it is a third section now. Functional requirement. Fourth section other requirements. Interface requirement, that how this requirement is going to be interact with the user. कोई पेज बनाएंगे, कोई ऐप बनाएंगे, कोई मॉड्यूल बनाएंगे, कोई SMS बनाएंगे, कोई ईमेल बनाएंगे. What we are going to build, we have to be write it here in the interface requirements. Hardware, software requirement, communication requirement, data conversion, operational requirements to run this particular thing. What are the operations requirement? Security, privacy. Now you will see अतुल ये तो गजब ही हो गया, पूरा लिख दिया हमने. Yes, this is what we have to be right. Now this is FRS. Now come to the SRD. See, Developing the SRD, develop the requirement, write a document, check the completeness, analyze, define what they're saying in SRS. Let's see. कुछ नहीं दिया, बेकार वेबसाइट. Let's see here. अरे वाह, एक तो डॉक्यूमेंट ही दे दिया इसने. देखो ये रहा. अब इस what they're saying, RST, requirement specification template. That is what I'm saying. It depends. ऐसा नहीं कि आपको in your company you will get the SRS the same name. Maybe some other name is there. Maybe I can say RG, requirement gathering, RGD, requirement gathering document. Okay, so it totally depends. But being a BA, you should know that what are the main areas on this part. Now they have put the team members as well. General description, functional interface means इसमें कुछ चीजें ना important है जो आप मान सकते हो कि आपको होना चाहिए. Introduction, scoping part, it should be must. Out of scope, it should be must. वैसे out of scope आपके SOW में होता है, इसमें नहीं होता. But if you want to put, you can put it as well to be clear, because SOW high level people sign करते हैं, बनाते हैं. Okay, ठीक है. Then you should in this particular areas you can say the functional interface requirement, data requirements. These are the important thing. Okay, so clearly understand that these documents should be your bread, butter and jam, and these are the required if you are working on a new product launch, on a scratch result, scratch one. अगर कोई BAU में कर रहा है तो मैं BAU में FRD SRD नहीं बनाता. दो रिक्वायरमेंट के लिए कौन इतना बड़ा बनाएगा? But if I'm implementing a new project from the scratch, तभी सारी चीजें बनती हैं. ये जब तक इसका साइन ऑफ नहीं होता तब तक आपका काम शुरू नहीं होता. This is what actually we are saying, that communicating requirements. You understand, you put the requirements in the different section to the customer, and then customer will say, yes, I'm happy to go ahead with this. So if you get time, read any sample or download any sample from the web, Google, and read about this. Now, if you see that in this particular document, we are talking about the UML diagrams, which we saw that as a technique, BNP flow chart. So what you can do in the market, there's a multiple tools are available to prepare that workflows. So generally in the companies, they are using the Microsoft Visio, but that is a licensed one. It is a heavy license required for this. So if you want to do the practice, there is a website called the draw.io. I use this website a lot sometime to prepare my conceptual models, to prepare something on my training part or something on my videos regarding all the things. So now in this part, it is similar to the Visio, but little less easy to use, क्योंकि Visio is very good. It's definitely Microsoft का product है, तो it is good standard है. But यहाँ पर आपका काम हो जाएगा, but थोड़ा सा मेहनत ज्यादा करना पड़ता है. Now they are saying that boss, what type of diagram you want to create? UML. देखो UML के सैंपल्स दिए हुए इसने आपको. UML नहीं चाहिए, सॉफ्टवेयर चाहिए, सॉफ्टवेयर के सैंपल्स आपको दिए हुए हैं. नेटवर्किंग चाहिए, ये दिए हुए हैं. वायर फ्रेमिंग चाहिए, ये दिए हुए हैं वायर फ्रेमिंग आपको. लेआउट्स चाहिए, ऐसे दिए हुए हैं. टेबल्स चाहिए, लाइक दिस दे हैव गिवन यू. आपके जो बर्न चार्ट्स वगैरह रहते हैं. अदर्स में आपके जैसे ये हो गए, ये देखो जो घर के नक्शे बनते हैं. Just create it. See, यही होता है ना घर का नक्शा जो आर्किटेक्चर बनाता है, आर्किटेक्ट बनाता है. So you can create these things in the part. अतुल ये तो एक्स्ट्रा हो गया, हमें अपने वाला बताओ जो हमें चाहिए होता है. Then I can say new. I want the swim lane one. Let me show you. This is what we prepared generally. This is one. Level 1, level team 1, team 2, team 3. यहाँ से drag and drop करो और यूज करते जाओ. These are the notations. इनका मीनिंग है. If I'm putting this box, it means this is like a backend database for me. If I'm putting this box, this is called the decision box. This is called the activity box. This is start and end boxes. If you remember that in our topic, we say that use the standard notations. These are the notations I'm talking here. If I come here, let me show you something more. Like engineering part, ये देखो सर्किट्स वर्किट्स जो आपके बनते हैं, फ्लो चार्ट्स. अब फ्लो चार्ट नॉर्मल भी है, स्विम लेन भी है, जैसा आपको चाहिए कलर्ड वलर चाहिए, ये देखो कुछ कलर्ड वलर में वो भी चाहिए, वो भी मिल जाएगा. सी on demand system development. So these are the tools which we used to create our workflows. Generally, if you're working in a company, they never recommend to use these non-standard tools. But if they don't have the license for the VZO kind of things, then they can allow you to go for the draw.io. मैंने बहुत बनाए हैं, बहुत बनाए draw.io में तो मैंने. Even sometimes for my personal works, my research part also, I use sometimes I use this tool conceptualize करने के लिए. अब देखो जैसे ये है, this is called the actor. Actor means it is a part of the UML कि कौन एक्शन करेगा. इस बॉक्स में और इस बॉक्स में फर्क है दोनों में. ये किक ऑफ है, मतलब ये एक्टिविटी हो रही है, यहाँ पर प्रोसेस हो रहा है पूरा का पूरा. If I show you something in this thing, this is called the, इसमें दो लाइनें हैं ये, this is called the sub process. चाय बनाने के अंदर सब प्रोसेस क्या है कि आपको दूध भी उबालना पड़ेगा अलग से. दैट इज कॉल्ड द सब प्रोसेस. तो इन सब का ये नोटेशंस हम बोलते हैं कि हाँ बॉस ये नोटेशंस है मेरी. डिसीजन हो गया, पैराग्राम हो गया, एक्टिविटीज के लिए हो गया, स्टार्ट स्टॉप के लिए हो गया. सो इट डिपेंड्स कि व्हाट यू आर बी यूजिंग, बट मेक श्योर इफ यू आर यूजिंग एनीथिंग यू शुड बी फॉलोइंग द स्टैंडर्ड्स ऑलवेज. ये नहीं कि एक डॉक्यूमेंट में इसको आपने स्टार्ट बना दिया, एक में इसको आपने स्टार्ट बना दिया. नो, it should be standard across all the documents then. Clear हुआ यहाँ तक?
Yes, Atul. Yes, Atul. Yes.
So if tomorrow you want to do some conceptualize as part in your day-to-day life, मैं प्रोसेस बना रहा हूँ, समझ नहीं आ रहा उसका पिक्चर कैसे बनेगा, then use these options. बेस्ट ऑप्शन है ये और easy to save है. क्लिक करो, सेव हो जाएगा ये. You can like if I copy it like this, Control A. Control A क्यों नहीं कर रहा ये? हाँ हो गया. Then you can copy as image as well and you can paste it anywhere. As it is आपको कहीं डालना आप डाल सकते हो. Let me show you. See, आपका पूरा पूरा इमेज बन के आ गया. Okay. The last point which I want to be discussed is called the methodology. Okay, let me see in the BA book it is mentioned or not. Perspective, underline competencies, tool, technologies. नहीं, they are not putting this thing. Agile नहीं है इनके पास, नहीं डाला हुआ. Techniques, perspective नहीं है. Okay. Now the question comes that if you are be in the what I can say this thing in the BAU format. अतुल ठीक है हम implementation कर रहे हैं but it's like a BAU. तो वहां पर FRD SRDs नहीं बनते. Then what to do? How to, what method we follow? Nowadays every company is using, or not, I'll not say put the every company is the wrong word here. The companies are using the agile as a methodology, which says that every 2 weeks develop something and show me. Develop something and show me. So maybe if you're a BA, this can be asked to you that, okay guys, do you have any idea about the agile? Agile is a very, very, very big term nowadays. बहुत बड़ा हो गया agile. In agile, how to write the user story. This is important because I was reading somewhere it is say that a BA should know that how to write a user story. User story means काम करना है, जो काम आपको करना है उसका वो आखिरी टुकड़ा, वो आखिरी पीस जिससे आगे आप उसको नहीं तोड़ सकते, दैट इज कॉल्ड द यूजर स्टोरी। मतलब अगर वो आप लिख के एक 8वीं 10वीं क्लास के बच्चे को भी पढ़ाएंगे, चाहे हिंदी में लिखो चाहे इंग्लिश में लिखो, उसको समझ में आ जाना चाहिए कि मुझे इसमें करना क्या है। दैट इज कॉल्ड द यूजर स्टोरी। ओके, so what user stories say? A user story is a user story is a tool in the agile development. नहीं, easy definition देखते हैं। हाँ, a user story is the smallest unit of work in agile framework. सबसे सबसे छोटा पार्ट है। Like if I say guys I want to create a web page, ये तो बहुत बड़ा है। Then I divide that. In web page I want 2 fields, ये भी बड़ा है। Then I divide it. I want a field with the name called user need to be created in the table X. अब इससे आगे आप नहीं तोड़ सकते इसको, until unless आपके पास टेबल भी बनी नहीं पड़ी है। तो इसको लिखने का तरीका होता है अजाइल में, इसको इसको लिखने का तरीका होता है। और एक अच्छा बीए वही है जो he or she able to write the good user story. And don't worry, this question has been asked. What method they follow? See, I cannot take you in the depth of the agile now because that is not the part of our course. But on the overall part, it says how to write a user story. User story format, I'll show you. कमाल हो गया। हाँ, ये रहा। What it says, as a what type of user you are, as an end user, as an admin, as a product owner, as a change manager, as an incident manager. You will not put as a Hitesh, no, क्योंकि उस particular in that particular story you are playing some role. You are creating the output, you are creating the solution for one of the stakeholder. What type of stakeholder it is? It is an end user for me. Acha, then how you write? As a end user I want, क्या चाहते हो आप काम करवाना? As a product owner, or I can say as a web page product owner, I want to create 2 fields with the name called the username and the password, so that benefit what you want to be achieved via this, so that so that my user can able to enter username and the password in the given boxes and able to log in into the tool. Now when you say that it has been accepted, or अब मैं normal लेता हूँ, as a husband I want to make a cup of tea so that me and my wife can enjoy a cup of tea in the evening together. What is the acceptance criteria? कि कब मैं बोलूंगा कि रिक्वायरमेंट डेवलप हो गया? When me and wife sitting in the balcony and having a cup of tea together in the evening. ये मेरा एक्सेप्टेंस क्राइटेरिया हो गया। एंड टी शुड बी टेस्टी। अगर टेस्ट नहीं होगा तो फिर इवनिंग खराब हो जाएगी, क्योंकि चाय पीने में मजा नहीं आएगा, राइट? सो दिस इज द वे दैट यू वी राइट द यूजर स्टोरी. So like this format, they use it. Now what happened actually, that I saw there's a lot of BAs who write a story but they don't put the benefit. जब तक benefit नहीं होगा, then how my company, my organization know that what I am developing, what value, remember the business value, business goal, वो यहां से आता है. अगर ये नहीं लिखोगे तो हाउ माई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन नो, हाउ माई प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर नो कि बॉस व्हाट बिजनेस वैल्यू वी आर अचीविंग हियर. सो these are the few points which you or me need to be as a consider when we're working on the business analyst part. If you get time, read about the more of agile. Agile has his manifesto, 11 या 12 इसके प्रिंसिपल्स हैं. अजाइल की सेरेमनीज भी होती हैं अपनी. Sprint planning, sprint demo, retrospective, multiple things are there. It has a complete full-fledged, a different course altogether, I can say. If I show you something in the agile ceremony, in the one image I can show you something, it show. हाँ देखो ये है, ये देखो, इसमें रोल होते हैं, स्क्रम मास्टर होता है, प्रोडक्ट ओनर होता है, टीम होती है, स्टेक होल्डर्स होते हैं, स्प्रिंट शेड्यूल होता है, प्लानिंग होती है, इंप्लीमेंट होता है, रिव्यू होता है, रेट्रोस्पेक्टिव होता है. दिस इज द ओवरऑल पिक्चर. इसमें एपिक्स यूजर स्टोरीज बनती हैं, रिलीज प्लान बनते हैं, स्प्रिंट प्लानिंग मीटिंग्स होती हैं. सो मल्टीपल थिंग्स आर देयर. द ओनली पॉइंट विच इज बी रिक्वायर्ड इज दैट अजाइल सेज इन द, और जो स्प्रिंट रहता है, स्प्रिंट बेसिकली कि कितने दिनों में काम खत्म होगा. तो यहां पर हम 2-2 हफ्ते का फ्रेमवर्क लेके चलते हैं कि बॉस 2 हफ्ते मुझे इतना बना के दे दो, 2 हफ्ते मुझे इतना बना के दे दो. ठीक है. इफ यू रीड इन डेप्थ यू विल केम टू नो a lot of things about the agile as well. So with this, what we started our journey on the business analyst part, let's take a quick look on that and we'll close it here. So we started the journey from the business analyst course here, that who is BA, what is the vision, skill, communication skill, knowledge area, all the things are there. Then we see the enterprise analysis, that how a business architecture has been defined, what is a business project scoping, business case part, assessment, prepare the decision. See now, like we prepare the decision package, the same way we prepared the requirement package. Once we done this part, then we started our requirement planning. Before I go for the allocation, before I kick off the solutioning part, before I go for the requirement tracing part, I have to be prepared the planning part. My requirement should be smart enough. In this we done a lot of things. Strategy बनाया हमने, work division किया, approach किया, requirement activity select की, eliminate किया. If anything come new into the picture, then how to handle that part. Then we read about the requirement allocation techniques, brainstorming, document analysis, focusing part, workshop, surveys, questionnaires, all the things. A lot of things we have discussed on that part. Then we see that how to create the business analysis documentation, which we discuss yesterday. Requirement packages हमने बनाया उसका. ठीक है. Few things we did not pick up from here, we done from the BA book only, so don't be confused here. Okay, so after that we done this part, हमने conduct किया, ये सारा काम हुआ. Then we say okay, now how to trace, how to verify, how to validate the requirement, that we done. Then we see if I have a requirement, what is the strategy to do that part, current state, future state. These things we discuss, risk assessment we have done, and finally we have done the analysis and the definition. Model बनाया, उसको verify, validate कराया पूरा का पूरा, and finally we done for the solutioning part, that how to do the solution, what solution is best, measurement किया. Then we prepared the communication plan, not plan, we done the communication part, which we discussed from the CBAP book yesterday, regarding how to be communicate, what need to be communicated, and we covered a topic called the concept called the requirement packaging part, that what we should be going in that particular requirement packaging. And today we completed on the major three documentation, BRD, FRD, and SRS specifically, that what is these documents and how these need to be prepared. What is the purpose? You being a BA, from the interview perspective, you should know that what should be the table of content in this. Depth में क्या है वो बाद में देख सकते हैं आप आराम से, but the table of content is must for you in this area, which specifically should include your assumption, risk. These are the 2 or 3 important points which have to be put it in these documents. And then we discuss about a little bit on the agile user story criteria. As a user, I want to achieve so that I can get this benefit with the acceptance criteria. With this, we are done with the course. Now we have only 2 or 3 minutes left. If anyone has a question, please ask here. My God, so speedy. Yes, Suraj Hitesh, anything here?
हाँ, तो जो वीडियोस है ना अभी ये आप पब्लिश करने वाले हो ना, मतलब ये रहेंगे अपने पास.
Let's discuss offline this part.
ठीक है, ठीक
Okay.
है.
Yes, any question on this part, what we discuss today's session? Hitesh?
No, I'm just trying to recall what you have thought.
So-
So far, no questions, but If there is
No,
something I will.
no problem. If you have any question, we have a group on the WhatsApp. You can put it here.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
So
Surely.
before I close this part specifically or this training, I would like to be thanks to you both, to both of you, for giving me chance to work to start my experimental business analyst batch, to your wife, your family who supported you in day out, changing the timings, adjusting the timings, classes on the weekends as well, continuous classes we have, not even we have break on the Saturday Sunday. Sometime we have the continuous classes for the complete weeks. So thank you so much. And yes, the Guru Dashna part I already put it in your inbox, so try to be complete um, as soon as possible. Okay. And if you have anything, you can ask. Otherwise, we can good to close the session. From tomorrow, you are free from my side. No class in the morning, 9 o'clock for you, or no class for me, in the 5 o'clock in the morning.
No worries.
Okay.
Thanks to you, too, Atul, for the entire
Thanks, Atul.
support. It was great learning with you.
Thanks. Hope this experimental become a good experiment for
Yeah,
both
yeah,
of us. At least I get something. I get a recap of the complete BA part in my journey now.
definitely.
Okay. Yep, sure. Okay. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Thanks,
So that
Atul.
we're just stopping the recording here. We'll discuss your point now. Okay.
Okay. Okay.